Today, we're going to be showing how to set up and operate our Cold Spark machines. Typically, we'll operate these in sets of 2 or more, so we'll be showing up how to set up and the different operating modes that you can use to add a little sparkle to your next event. So they came with this really great case. It's your standard flight case style lock. So you just pop this open. They've got these little handles built in, so you just lift these up, pull it right out. So in the case here, we've got compartments for both Cold Sparks. Once again, handle goes in the front. We've got power cables. We've got 2 of these remotes. We only need 1, but there's a backup. We've got packets of sparks. All of these right now are indoor. Honestly, they work really great as far as height goes, and they don't leave as much powder as the outdoor style, so I prefer to use indoor. So I'm going to be using an extension cord, a little splitter, to go ahead and get these set up. When you're setting these up, you want to be mindful of positioning both for the guest of honor who's going to be having the Cold Spark moment, as well as the person who's going to be operating these Cold Sparks and hitting them off with the switch. This is the back of the unit, and we want to make sure that we're going to be positioned in a way where there's a clear line of sight between the remote and the Cold Sparks. So plug these in, you're going to take this cable, it goes in and then turns and locks. Now, to fill the machines with powder, it's really important that we take note of the markings on the top here. This hole is where the Cold Sparks come out of, and this is going to be our filling hole. We don't want to get these mixed up, or it's going to cause problems. Step 1, take off the cap. Step 2, use your funnel. Today I'm using a piece of paper, but typically we'll have a funnel to make this easy. Step 3, using your powder. Go ahead, make sure there's nothing in the hole that isn't supposed to be in there, a leaf or any kind of debris, and then we'll go ahead and fill her up. And about half a packet per machine is going to be plenty to get you through an event. Make sure you don't overfill it. If you do, that's okay. We can always just dump some out and reuse it. But for today's purposes, that looks great. So as soon as you're done filling it up, put that cap back on, and we're ready to go. I will say, it's not that hard to get the powder in the hole without the funnel, but being that we're using these outdoors a lot of the time, wind is a factor, and the funnel will help block the wind. So, trick tip, use a funnel. So now that we've ran power to our Cold Sparks, we can go ahead and turn them on with green switch here. And then with our remote, we can go ahead and start getting these heated up. There's a few different buttons we'll be using on this remote. First one is going to be power. So we'll hit this on. And the Cold Spark machine is going to say FHH. Once we are powered on and everything is good, it'll say F1F. So next step is going to be to turn the heat on with this button right here. And with that, you'll start to see the numbers going up on the readouts here. In addition to that, there's going to be a red light on the machine indicating that the Cold Sparks are heating up. So once the machines are done heating up, we're going to switch to ready, and at that point we'll be fully heated and ready to go. All right, now we're set up, we're heated up, we're ready to go. So on our remote we have 3 different settings we're going to be using depending on the space. If we're outdoors and we just want to go big, we're going to use high number 3, high number 2, and high number 1 are also options. We'll go ahead and show you what the difference looks like, and then based off your indoor or outdoor, or just depending on what the setting is, you can judge which option is going to be best. All right, so first off, we have height number 1. And you can see they take just a second to really kick on. So based off your timing, whether it's going to be a first kiss or grand entrance, you want to make sure you're on point. Height 1 is about 5 to 6 feet. Next, we have height number 2. So you can see height 2 is going to come out a little more concentrated. You're going to get more sparks. Those are going to shoot up about 7 to 9 feet tall. And next we're going to go all the way up with height number 3. So height number 3 is going to go up to about 12 to 14 feet. Once again, the height will depend on how much powder you put in those, so just make sure they're loaded up, ready to go. And they do take just a second to reach maximum effect, so keep that in mind when shooting these things off. Now the reason they're called cold sparks is because they're not hot, they're actually cold to the touch. They are going to feel a little prickly if you touch them, but they're not hot enough to catch anything on fire. Any real concern that you would have with these would be from the element itself having some sort of malfunction, but they do have a built-in safety, so if they tipped over, they would shut off immediately. So all in all, really low fire hazard with these. We always carry a fire extinguisher just in case, but you are more than safe to use these in a setting. A couple things to be mindful of is one, wind, because these are shooting up fine powder. Not all of it does get burned up. So you can see on some of these machines, there's going to be a little residue left behind. So just be mindful of that. You don't want to be doing this next to like some white linens or something that's going to get dirty, because although these do not burn, they do leave a little bit of residue. So just be mindful of that. Another thing to be mindful of these is the range. They actually are pretty great. I'm about 30 yards away if I have to guess. And I would say that you could probably go further. The most important thing though is that we have a clear line of sight between the remote and the cold spark machine. So from this distance, we're still good. So when we're done, we're going to use this button right here, holding down to power off. And the next step is going to be to turn the machine off. You can see some residue that's left behind from the unburnt cold sparks. So I just like to use this paintbrush here and dust it off. And if we are using these near a dance floor or another place where residue might be noticeable or cause someone to slip, we're going to use a broom or vacuum to clean that off as well. Alright, so to clean out the cold spark machines, we will take our Tupperware, lid off, we'll set up some paper underneath, make sure there's no hair, dust, leaves, anything else that might get into our powder. Take off the cap, and then using our handles, we'll go ahead and empty out any unused dust. And you can see, I set these off for a total of probably 60 seconds. Putting about 2/3 of the powder into these machines just for today's purposes. And we still have a lot left over. Just goes to show you how far this powder will stretch. So now that we got that emptied out, anything that got left behind, we'll just go ahead and add that into our Tupperware. Like that. Lid back on, machine, and then lid onto our Tupperware. Now, we have some more powder for the next event. Now that we got both machines emptied out, we're going to plug them back into power and get them cleaned out. So one button push is to turn the power on. F1F, once again, means we're ready to go. And we're going to hit the cleaning button right here. So we'll hit this. And what this is doing is just expelling any excess powder that was left behind. So we're just going to let this run, let it do its thing. And after about 10-15 seconds, it'll turn off on its own. And now our machines are cleaned out and ready to get packed away. So to turn these off, we're just going to hit the power button with one long hold. Both machines now say off. Now we can safely come over and hit the green switch off on both of these. So before putting these away, we'll go ahead, just give them a little dust. And when we're at an event, we want to be mindful if there is any powder on the floor in the areas where people are going to be walking, or it's just not going to look good. We're going to get that cleaned up right away. So with these powered off, they're still a little warm to the touch, but we can go ahead and unplug them, pull the switch, turn it counterclockwise like so. We're going to get our cords wrapped up, and by the time we're ready to go with the cords, we can get these boxes put away. Alright, so getting these back in the case is easy using the handles. Just lift them right in. The ones towards the back, you got to put the handle down first before it goes all the way in. And I always put the components inside for maximum safety. And with these in here, all the cables, along with our powder and other accessories, can go right in the front compartment, and we're good to go.